Hey there, everybody. PTPOP here with all four lobes of my brain securely bound behind my back. And today I'm going to be commenting on a video titled Why Corporate America is Obsessed with Company Culture. Stay tuned. Well, you know, Pete, I would take a cut in pay, but I could have to fire my leather mistress that I take to the Caribbean with me once a week to get my butt spanked while I wear a diaper.
Would you like fries with that? Would you like fries with that?
I'm asking you to subscribe to my channel because you know what? I get millions of views annually on this channel. I've had almost 2 million views. I get thousands of views a month, and very few people subscribe. And I think, you know, stuff's funny. Where else can you go where you get entertained? I write music. You know, I analyze our culture in corporate America and call centers. I make you laugh. Hundreds and thousands of you written to me saying, thank you for my videos. Let's subscribe. Subscribe to PTPOP. And, you know, it'll help this channel thrive and continue. And if you are interested in supporting this channel, go to my Patreon channel, which I will put in a link in the description of this video. Subscribe. Tell your friends about it. Call center suck. The corporate world's crazy. It sucks too. We're all wage slaves in this country. I don't care what you say. So subscribe, or I'll stick Ringo Starr on you. He'll show up at your birthday for peace and love. So I found this movie, or not a movie, but a video. I'm analyzing why corporate America is obsessed with company culture. And this is from How Money Works. And I think they do a great analysis here of how company culture works and why people in corporations are so obsessed with this. So let me get my hand onto here. So this video is pretty explicit. I'm just going to comment on it as it goes along. It's a 12-minute video, so it might be a little bit longer because I'm going to comment on it as it goes. And here we go.
Afternoon drinks and team building days are papering over a terrible trend which is making your workplace miserable and stalling your career.
I really mean the entire Apple team. You know, I can go out in a retail store and the retail teams.
Doesn't Tim Cook sound like a drunken, like Mr. Rogers? When I go to an Apple store, I can expect them all to be the same. Oh, geez, I miss Jobs. He could be a real prick, but my God, he knew how to run a company. He didn't make cell phones out of titanium. And this guy looks like a droid, doesn't he? He just looks like a freaking droid.
150 discussions about ship operations, 252 conversations of a personal nature, 5 couples engaged in romantic encounters.
Your point, Mr. Date.
Company culture is one of the biggest trends in corporate management. Small companies with as few as 20 employees are hiring culture managers whose full-time job is to promote a collaborative and positive work environment. These are full-time employees that, from a bottom-line business perspective, do nothing but make the other 19 employees more engaged with their work.
Culture is what keeps people around.
According to
Culture is what keeps people around? Really? That's not cool for me. All I wanted when I worked in the corporate world, I just wanted to go to work, be treated fairly and with respect and dignity, be paid fairly, and I wanted to go home at the end of the day, and that's it. I didn't want company culture. I was surrounded, it didn't matter where I worked. I couldn't stand most of the people that were around me, and I didn't want to sit and have beer with them after work, much less play games with them.
a survey of job seekers and hiring managers conducted by Robert Half, a workforce analytics firm, 91% of managers said that a candidate's fit with the organizational culture was more important than their skills and experience.
Really? Wow.
Hilariously, a PwC survey on company culture found that 69% of companies believed that their culture gave them a competitive edge. Presumably, the other 31% of companies realized that an office didn't need a ping pong table and kombucha on tap to be a nice place to work.
Yeah, I mean, I've always mentioned the ping pong tables and the foos tables and the call centers. They always have them. When I worked at Bank One, which became Chase Bank, they had a whole game room. They had an entire game room off in like the northwest corner of the building. And no one was ever in there because it was a call center. There was no time to play foosball or ping pong. There were dartboards or everything in there, video games, and there was never anyone in there. And people hated their jobs because it was a call center. You could have the nicest culture in the world, but until you figure out how to treat people with dignity and respect, I don't care how you could bring in hookers and blow and smack and stuff. They're still not going to like working there.
Managing corporate culture is expensive. Corporate culture managers are earning an average
Corporate culture managers? There's a thing called a corporate culture manager.
salary package of $110,000 a year, according to Glassdoor.
They make
Direct salary expenses.
They make $110,000 a year to talk about company culture, and that's not a lot of money these days. It's really not. It's not a lot of money if you live in California. You can barely survive off of that.
Also don't capture the additional cost of running culture events and the lost man hours in the name of team building. It's a big investment and one that is not paying off. Most workers report only engaging in workplace team activities because they felt they had to.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember doing these ridiculous games, and in another video I'm going to show you the games, that company culture games they have where you have to fall into somebody's arms and play numbers with numbers. I hated doing that stuff. I thought it was just the most childish thing. It made you feel uncomfortable, embarrassed, ashamed, humiliated. They don't treat you with dignity when they do these games.
They said that they would rather spend their hours at work, focus on their job tasks, and after work hours with family and friends or...
Yes, that's true. It is so true. I remember in one of the first jobs I had out of college, it was the first big corporate job I had, and everybody in that office was a sound. And on Friday nights, and sometimes on weeknights, they would take this one guy, Jeff, and everybody would go down to, I think it was called the Winking Lizard or, TGIS or something, and we'd all stand around the bar and just throw back beer and just, it was just so painful. It was so awkward and painful because, I wasn't part of the clique. I was really quiet back then, and even now, I never say the right things. It's like I always say something that makes people go, "What? What are you talking about, dude? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, why don't you go over there and play with yourself or something?"
Catching up on personal errands.
None of us at work like it when
Joshua Fluke kind of does what I do, but he does it better. I think he's been at it longer, but he's I don't know what his background is, but I watch his channel. I subscribe to it. Joshua, I'd love to interview you if you're watching. But Joshua talks about what he calls corporate cringe. And this is exactly it. He talks about culture and ridiculous things that have you do and so on and so forth. So check out Joshua Fluke's channel here on YouTube. Put a plug in there for you, brother.
person in HR comes and says, "Hey guys, we're doing this fun activity from X time to X time, and you had no say in the matter, but you have to go." And I think we can all agree that this is terrible.
Even when activities were funded by the company, most workers said that they did not enjoy what they called corporate prescribed mandatory fun. An article in the Harvard Business Review found that these types of business environments were one of the main reasons that top-performing employees left the business. So why the company still obsessed with their culture if it's so expensive to maintain and only makes employees want to quit? Well, there are actually 4 reasons, and each one is worse than the last. The first reason is that companies don't want to create a company culture. They want to create a company cult. Management at large companies has discovered that they can build an undue level of control over their employees if they control their thinking and behavior in the workplace. Senior management will push the narrative that the company stands for something greater than generating an acceptable rate of return to its shareholders.
But that's exactly what it
What is this? Let me say this. This is a way of emphasizing the point without pointing at somebody, because this can be perceived as aggressive. But if you go like this, if you do the Bill Clinton, I did not inhale. I did not have sex with that woman. I did not blow my load on her dress. I'm going to show you a video here with body language expert Janine Driver, where she's being interviewed by Anderson Cooper of CNN. They're going to talk about body language and politics during the debates, the presidential debates with Mitt Romney from a few years ago. Let me blow this up and I'll show this to you.
You make of his gesture?
Much better in the second round here when he started gesturing with the palm of his hand like we see here. But pointing, how do you feel when someone points at you? It's almost like I'm pointing a gun at you. It can come across as aggressive when you're pointing.
That's why they do that thumb on the fist.
Power. That's right. That's right. The thumb of power right here. It's a combination of pointing and chopping. It's much better and softer, or palm up. Mitt Romney loves to point. I think it's going to hurt him in the debate tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sure that pointing is what really did him in. So that's something that there all of these CEOs, presidents, chairmen of the board, they're all very well choreographed to how to move, how to talk. I did not have sex with that woman, Monica Lewinsky. I think Bill pointed, though. Bill pointed when he spoke that. Let's go find that scene there.
I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
He's pointing his gun at you. Watch out for the spooge.
Miss Lewinsky, I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false, and I need...
He's pounding, he's hacking at the desk. Almost like he's got a hatchet in his hand. He's minimalizing. He's showing that it's a nuisance to him to have to be brought to the podium in front of the public to have to address this, because he's in the middle of writing his State of the Union address, which he has probably at least 3 or 4 writers that write it for him. Nobody writes. I don't think anybody writes their own State of the Union address. They have all kinds of people that write this stuff. They have a whole office staff of people. He doesn't sit down at a laptop and go, what should I say in the State of the Union address tonight? Well, we'll talk about Afghanistan and,
to go back to work for the American people. Thank you.
Yeah, you go back to work for the American people, buddy. You're such a buddy.
It's a business of people serving people.
People serving people. Yeah, that's what we do here in the corporate world. People serve people. Can you say that?
And it was, is, and always will be about the culture of the company.
Strong Jesus. It was, is, and always will be about the company culture.
Startups are prone to do this with overly enthusiastic founders that think they are going to change the world. But the Harvard Business Review found again that cult-like behaviors were most common in the largest companies. Apple, Tesla, Nordstrom, and Harley-Davidson were the examples.
I was shocked by Harley-Davidson. Harley-Davidson has become, really posh. Have you ever seen these schmucks that claim that they're bikers, and they take them and their wife put their $50,000 motorcycles on the trailer, and they don't drive them across the country. They put them on a trailer and trek them across the country, being pulled in a cab and a half, 2.5 ton truck, because they're pussies. These are not the regular Harley Davidson guys I grew up with that would cut your throat as soon as look at you. These are pussies that are like that guy that we just are going, think company culture is great. He puts on his leathers and he treks he carries it on a trailer across the country to some motorcycle convention like an idiot. These are not real bikers. Harley Davidson has become like LL Bean.
Their report gave. Ritualistic behavior is a common characteristic of cults and companies that take their culture too far.
Look at them. I hear you. Yeah. I love it so much.
And we have a lot of companies that really brag about their culture. It's on their website. There's even one company in town, I won't mention their name, but will pay their employees $2,000 if they tattoo sort of the company culture on their bodies.
You gotta be kidding me, right? $2,000? I can't even. I mean, I know it happens. I'm sure it happens, because your average person is dumb as a box of rocks and would do that. Say, sure, I do it. Just put it right there on my dick. Up there, the company culture right to my ball sack of my dick. Give me the $2,000, pal. It is done. Put that tattoo right on my dick.
Not a joke. $2,000.
It is still mandatory for Walmart employees to recite the company cheer once a day in all of their stores around the country. According to the company, Sam Walton, the company's founder, toured a Korean tennis ball factory in 1975 that started every day with a company chant. Walton, who was obsessed with Asian business culture, liked the idea so much that he made it.
See, I think the difference between American factories and Japanese factories is the Japanese culture is based off of respect. It's based off of respect, treating each other well, and doing your job, and they're raised to do things a certain way. and they're raised to be honorable to one another. I think, I've never worked in a Japanese factory, obviously, or a corporation, but I think they make superior products to the U.S. and to other people here in the West because they have a certain culture about honor and respect. So they do their chants in the morning because they have respect for the work and they're treated with respect for the work. That's why I've never bought an American car, because the American cars are made by guys and gals who just rolled out of bed after an all-nighter at the local bar, and they stumbled into work and like, hey, you found my welding equipment? Oh, God, I can't find my welding. Oh, I'm not in the welding department. I'm over in the tire department. I think it's a totally different atmosphere, different culture. So if you try to bring this into America, people are gonna be like, come on, dude. I want us to work for you. Come on, show me the money.
Show me the money.
Get me a hooker, get me a beer and a cigarette, and we're good, dude.
Mandatory in all of his stores. One thing that attracted Walton to businesses in the East was the utter devotion that employees have for their company and its founders. Employees routinely put in twice their salaried hours to impress rigid corporate leadership, a trend that business owners back in America were keen to replicate. Sam Walton's daily chant may be a cup full of concentrated cringe, but
it is, because, think about it here. We have a soft culture here. We have a culture built on, and our foundation is now crumbling. Our foundation was built by men and women, built buildings and went to work and were good accountants and had good minds and had a good work ethic. After World War II, everybody got soft. Now they just want to sit around playing with themselves, drinking beer and shooting smack. And think about it. Everybody you knew, nobody wants to work now. You really expect people to put in twice the hours in an American restaurant or American factory to impress hard-nosed corporate people? No. Everybody here is tired of that bullshit. They're tired of being used. They're tired of slave wages. They're tired of schmucks who talk like this.
Other companies take it a step further by employing another tactic of cults: language control.
When you get a job with the Walt Disney Company, it's not just getting a job. It's like entering a new community.
I would have already been fired because there are no employees at Disney parks. There are only cast members, and there are no customers, only guests. And employees are not.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Disney World is a microcosm of this country and how mentally and physically soft we are. They keep us in a fantasy world in this country. They don't reward hard work in this country. They reward if you buy into the fantasy. It's all about living in the dream world. It's all about chasing, quote, the American dream, unquote. And the key word to the American dream isn't American. The key word is dream. They want to keep you asleep, so you keep chasing after these dreams, which makes everybody soft because everybody wants to be an actor. I want to be an actor. Oh, I don't want to work in a restaurant. It's too hard. I want to be a singer, dancer. Oh, I want to be a car designer. I'm just going to design cars because it's easy. Now, everybody thinks things are easy in this country. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. There's no way that they do this crappy thing at Disney World because this is what they want you to be like in the real world. They want you to be brainwashed zombies that have their own culture and their own work.
At work, they are on stage. Employees are reprimanded from going off script. Disney knows that controlling the language their employees use will get them to put in extra effort around their parks. Disney is not alone. Google employees call themselves Googlers, unless they have just joined, and then they are Nooglers. Amazon employees are Amazonians, and Facebook employees are Metamates. It sounds harmless, and some people might even call it good management, but it's still mental conditioning with an objective. What's even scarier is that it works. I'm sure that you can think of a lot of jargon terms and acronyms unique to your company. Language and rituals are a big part of any culture, but in corporatism, their aim is to get employees to think of the company and their job as something bigger than just a place they go to do tasks to earn money.
Looks like the guy that brought my groceries out today from Walmart.
Thinks their company is more important than the compensation that it provides, will accept lower salaries and remain more loyal than they would to a company that doesn't pull the same tricks. Google's corporate culture.
See, they want to keep you in a fantasy world. They want you to accept lower wages for more work and be happy doing it. They want you to think you got it made. You don't have it made in companies. Look what my wife just went through. Almost 17 years with one company. She dedicated her life to it 10 hours a day, sometimes 6 days a week. For what? So they could kick her ass to the curb? They didn't give a shit about her. She won all kinds of awards. She met the owner of the company, a really big name in the world of finance. She got all kinds. They flew her all over the country. Yeah. See you later, hon. Don't give a shit about you. They want to get the most out of you for the least amount of money. Period. It's a wage slavery. So I'm going to stop there with this one because this guy has a big infomercial in the middle of his video that made me want to. And then after his infomercial, I got hit with another commercial from monetization. I'm gonna go into this in more detail about the psychology behind corporations and the psychologists they hire to do all this. But they're trying to create, quote, a culture because they think if people are happy and they placate them with saccharine sweet sentiment, free salad bars, and masseuse on site, and happy hours on Friday at TGIFs, that everyone's going to go, oh, this place is so great. Oh, I don't get to see my kids. I work 80 hours a week, but I love it. I'm going to rub one out in the bathroom. I love it so much. This is all bullshit, people. They're doing a psyops on you. Just propaganda to try to they have no idea these people at the top. The people that talk like this have no clue what it is to be the guy at the bottom. They have no clue. They don't know. They're so detached, so far off, so out of touch with their employees. They have no clue what's going to make them happy. This is what I think will make people happy. This is what makes me happy. Give me a competent boss who treats me fairly and with dignity. Somebody who knows how to build me up and doesn't constantly ride me for my weaknesses. As somebody isn't automatically looking to get rid of me because I made a mistake. Because in the corporate world, if you don't catch on quickly, and I'm a slow learner. I don't know if, I know, maybe my mom was right and I am retarded, but it takes me a while to pick up things. But once I pick it up, I pick it up. But the minute they see that, oh no, he's a slow learner, they start to sandbag you. They start to look for ways to get rid of you. They start to ride you. And this is something I experienced in the corporate world a lot. Treat you with dignity and pride, and then you've invested the time and the money to bring me on board. Let's dance, buddy. Let's play. I'm here to work. Show me what I need to do to improve. But most companies leave it up to you. They give you the salad bar. They give you the after, the happy hour at TGIS. They bring in a masseuse and they give you koosh balls or free little gifts and chocolate bars on Valentine's Day, but they don't have any way to help your performance, improve your performance. They don't know how to work with people that have conflicts with each other. No one has ever been able to figure that one out in the history of corporations. Treat people with dignity. Treat them with respect. Pay them a decent wage, and you will have a devoted workforce. It's that simple. It's that simple. You don't have to bring hookers and blow into the workplace. Just treat people with respect. Treat them with a fair wage. Some of these presidents and CEOs make millions and millions and millions of dollars a year. And it's just insane. That money could be going to employee benefits. It could be going to employee salaries. But I guess because they're hobnobbing with the president of China, they're trying to get more business sent over to their country. They're getting paid the big dollars by the board of directors or wherever the money comes from. So this bottom line is that these companies are just playing you. They're trying to placate you and pacify you with bullshit. It's allegedly because they think they want a healthy, happy workforce, but they're not. People are miserable. They're leaving left and right. Nobody wants to work in this country. I don't care how many traditions you bring over from Korea and Japan. It's a completely different culture in the East, in Southeast Japan and in Asia. And they have a different attitude. They're brought up differently. They're not sitting around praying to the magical man in the clouds at the Super Bowl. Oh, the Kansas City Chiefs will win that Super Bowl. They're not all wrapped up in it. Even though we're desperately in the West desperately trying to get them to buy into all the bullshit that we bought into, and to crappy. Make a video about this. Sharper image, yay! More bullshit you can waste your money on to make you happy. It's all about having fun, people. They're just selling you garbage. And they think it's going to create a healthy, happy culture. It's not. Treat people, give them a good, clean, safe place to work. Reprimand the managers that are incompetent. Get rid of the incompetent people. Bring in people that are actually real people that like to work with people and help them. Make it a more supportive culture where you treat people with dignity and respect, and pay them a decent wage so they don't have to be afraid of living on the street one day. And when layoffs come, take a cut in your pay first before you start chopping heads down below. Oh, so well, you know, Pete, I would take a cut in pay, but I could have to fire my leather mistress that I take to the Caribbean with me once a week to get my butt spanked while I wear a diaper. You betcha. I'm sick of it, people. So there you have it. That's why corporate America is obsessed with company culture. It's to give you a false sense of happiness in a horrible environment where you're making little money to get by, and your job will be gone as soon as they make a mistake financially or hit a bump of the road financially. So, all right, have a good day. I'm PTPOP. I'm signing off. Al's Wiedersehen, baby.
Would you like fries with that? Would you like fries with that?